mum's Australian, but her family from England to go as well. Tipperary originally, where the Lonigans were from, long time ago, but he was born in Dublin. One of 9. Young, only boy too. Youngest.
Yeah, my grandparents one of 5 children. All 4 of them one of 5.
Yeah, as you can see, sorry, what's your name? I'm Dan. Paul, nice to meet you, mate. As you can see, you've got the little manhole there. There's just, and it's awkward. I mean, there's just not enough room for us, so we'll have to do it at ground level. That'll be, I'd rather it be nice. Talk together with the kids.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
player. Robert only played a hand set. Arnold would have won a Norm Smith medal if that had been. Yep, he presented the Norm Smith medal.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Even if we're not 100% right, I've always been taught in commentary rock as long as we get it right, we get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, my hope is. What's that, Japanese girl is that? Bulleen or Bulleen? Morikawa, yeah. Come across the mud with fence. They're hard to beat, aren't they, Bulleen? I mean, that's not a big day. Olivia Bomford's riding in the 700. Yeah, he's Canadian. Olivia is his right? Canadian. No, they're brothers, but yeah, and there's another brother who'd be a grandfather. That's mine. Yeah. 30 minutes extra time, 15 at each end, and then 10. Correct, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Cut the dark. You cut the dark. Right, that's what you do. It's too far. Where are you?
Actually, it's not bad. I'm in Greensboro. It's alright. It's just half hour. Is it?
I got stuck in the traffic. It took me 40.
You're going down from
Yeah. You know Eaglemore? Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not far away.
I went to school at Upton Dumber.
Oh, yeah, well, it used to be Parade Junior School.
That's the one.
Yeah, I know. Well, just up the hill.
Old Heidelberg Road.
Old Heidelberg Road. It's become a Greek school, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right.
I went to Upton Dumber.
When did you finish? How many years did you rugby for?
This is my fourth season, I think. 3.5, 4. I jumped halfway through 23, 17, 3.5.
What else do you do?
I played for a bit. I'm done. I think this is my do more. I was a media communications major in marketing. I did a news talk.
Tell us when we're ready to go. Well, good evening. Welcome to Springside Recreation Reserve. It seems like I live here. My name's Dan Lonigan. I was here on Friday for the league match. That was a big game of football for the Spring Hills team, but they only got the 1 point out of it against Melbourne City. But because Preston got beaten, they moved to 10th on the table. Well, we're not here for that tonight. We're here for the Nike Cup, the knockout competition. We are into the round of 16. So the winner tonight goes into the quarterfinals. We've got two MPLW teams. They played here a few weeks ago. Bulleen second on the table in the league up against Spring Hills. So it should be a huge game of football for both teams. They'll start with a pretty strong team, both teams. That's what I'm trying to say. Their starting lineups will be very strong, and then I've got a feeling that both teams throughout the night will obviously sub players on and off with another big league match coming up later in the week. Great pleasure to welcome my co-commentator with me tonight. A cool evening here at Spring Hills. Winter has certainly hit the second day of winter. It's like it came from nowhere after a pretty warm May. Ross Papadakis. Ross, great to have you with us.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for having me. It's a bit of a chilly night. We're on the 4th, thankfully. We don't have the big gust of winds coming through on the scaffolding, but
yes,
should be a great game of football.
Certainly should be. Let's have a look at the starting lineups. Rachel Gillies for Spring Hills, number 3. Rosha Murphy, number 6. Natasha Dakic, 12. Bella Stringfellow, 16. Alex Sinclair, one of the greats of the competition, 18. Aubrey Lavner having a sensational year, 23. Montana Matthews, 30. And the goalkeeper tonight is Aoagi. Ayana Aoagi came from Melbourne City. Jenna Ibrahim normally does that role, but Ayana getting an opportunity tonight, 31. Kawasaki, 45, despite being told she had a hammy, but obviously it wasn't as serious as first thought in Friday's game. Eva McCoy in 46, one of the players they added in the transfer window, along with Katie Godden. The subs, Jenna Ibrahim, the goalkeeper, Bianca Liberto, Mia Dashkalovska, Isabella Arredondo, Chelsea De Silva, and Jacinta Tarante Crook for Bulleen. Very strong side. Alyssa DeLoster 1, Annabelle Yates 2, Catherine Renahan 3, Claudia Myerchek in 4, Sarah Kane wearing number 6, Nia Soler 9, Tiffany Eliadis is 11, Olivia Bomford 12, Emily Bunnell 16 from America, the star Maya Markowski 17, Nikki Furukawa 21, and on the bench Ava Bridus from a famous AFL family 6, Madison Rakic 10, Cleo Angel 15, Ashley Jordan 19, Alana Cortolino 22, and Emily Shields 25. Here's Ross to get it underway.
And we're underway with Spring Hills. You go for the long ball all the way through. And the Lost Star will feed it all the way to her centre backs now. And really feeling out, of course. Did mention, Dan, they did play each other recently.
1-0.
Return leg, it was 1-0, of course. And Bulleen's looking hard to beat. They've recruited quite well.
Should have been 6-0 with great respect.
6-0.
Yeah.
Of course, any team with Maya Markowski starting up top for her, it's quite a good sight to see in MPL Women's.
Despite having a very severe injury.
Exactly. You'd assume she'd get the game done early and then
Which
exit
we'll try to
play, but
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. As it's gone all the way back to Murphy. And then over to Saleh out there, who will go around to man and shot from distance along the floor. And Aoyagi, first game for the senior side, manages to clean that one up.
Massive raps on her too, Ross. They're very impressed with what she did in the underage game on Friday. And there was talk that she might play tonight. Jen Ibrahim has been the number one goalkeeper. She's been unlucky on Friday. There was no goal against her. She saved them a lot against Bulleen. Down the right-hand side to Dakic now, looking for a through ball. But Bulleen very good to get goal side with their defenders. They shove it back now to Delosta. Delosta goes now towards the halfway mark, and Bomford, the Canadian, didn't control the ball at all, and it sails over the sideline. So Bella Stringfellow wearing the long sleeves tonight's had a very good year. Mad Keen Western Bulldog supporter in the AFL like yours truly, and it's headed over the line. You'll get to know, Ross, that I've got a lot of miscellaneous information in my head, so a lot of rubbish will come out of it tonight.
That's all right. It's Alex Sinclair who will get a free kick taken for them, and what a player she's been over her
superstar
NPL women's career. Of course, 2 in the wall for Bulleen. Goes over the wall, under the wall. To the near man, but sent out for a goal kick, but it's offside. Looked very close.
Must have been tight.
Yeah.
So Delosta to inbound for the Bulleen team. The second on the table, only separated from the Royals in goal difference in the league. Again, those passes not quite working early days. Renahan missed kicking again over the sideline about halfway. Mayer looking resplendent. She's got the glove on the left hand and in the pink and white boots. 6'2", very tall girl. Hooking ball came from Bomford. Now, this will be a great battle between two of the best players in the comp. Levner in defence, shoved off it by Markovski, taken by Stringfellow, right in front of our commentary position. Controlled, though, nicely. Kicking into bodies on this occasion was Furukawa, and now Spring Hills have an opportunity through Gillies. Through ball again, but they get their numbers back.
Yeah, very intense football. We know obviously how Spring Hills play and Bulleen play. It's pretty much a clash of games, of course. Maya Markovsky playing against a former side as well.
Yep.
And it's a great through ball through, but Murphy doesn't quite get there as Yates is taken down. Will be a free kick for Bulleen Lions.
Coached by a father, of course.
Of course.
Would have been interesting in the car on the way here.
You would assume they drove together. Maybe Markovsky's in the zone so much that
he's a ripper. He doesn't stop talking.
Yeah.
I don't think she does either. So would have been interesting in the household tonight, or well throughout the week anyway. As a through ball comes, she was the one that got the equaliser in the 96th minute. Must have been just about at the death, coming off the bench again, and they're playing her once more tonight. 18 goals for the season, Ross. He's been absolutely sensational. Dakic down the right-hand side for Spring Hills, and then it's intercepted with a header by Kane. It goes the wrong way, and Spring Hills doing a lot of the attacking inside their attacking half at the moment, but stopped at the back by Bulleen again through Sarah Kane. Goes defensively, and they go across the goal mouth to Renahan. Renahan now strolling her way through for
throw.
Probably should have been converted then.
It's not the tallest team in the world, but of course Bulleen do have that aerial presence of Maya Markovsky.
It was Godden, the one that missed the shot. And here's Stringfellow, kicks into bodies, and it can't be controlled by Murphy. And the last touch came from Stringfellow as it ricocheted back to her. So Yates now. So it could have been 1-0 for Spring Hills. As the coach Tom Markovsky said, they've got nothing to lose. Murphy balloons it down the line. Renahan is goal side as it's pushed along nicely by Kawasaki. It was Kawasaki actually that had the shot at goal, not Godden. Out wide now in the direction of Murphy, and Murphy will get possession opposed to Yates, who shoved it over the sideline. So it is 0-0, and we are 13 minutes into the opening half in this Nike Cup knockout round of 16 contest.
It is Stringfellow now, who will go down the line to Murphy, and then Stringfellow retains, and that looked out, but
did to me.
Still going down the line and pushed down once again for a goal kick. Of course, these two have played each other 5 times in their history.
Who's been added to this team in recent times, as Ross said, from South Melbourne. And it will be Dakic. High ball. Couldn't be controlled. Going the wrong way from Spring Hills. Now Soler receives a deft little touch from Markovsky. Through now. That is offside. Furukawa got out the back, but well called. It was clearly offside. And it remains 0-0, and we are in the 15th minute. Gilt-edged opportunity went begging by Kawasaki of Spring Hills after a long ball came in and it wasn't quite taken cleanly in the 10-yard box by the goalkeeper in Dalosta, and that allowed Kawasaki to pounce, but she couldn't score, hitting the right goalpost. Yeah, I'm
still quite surprised they're still 0-0 in this game. Not really many opportunities other than that one, as mentioned, but Ayana's under pressure here as she goes out to her fullback as Markovsky applies the pressure. It's over to Montana Matthews now, and headed on to Dalosta, who just manages to clean that ball up. Here's Bunel now. Again, sent into the middle to Kane. Just back out to Markovsky, who's sitting deep, and a bit of a rustle and tussle in the middle there as Markovsky gets the ball back. And her dad shouts for handball, and it will be. And that's a free kick.
I wonder if they'll talk about that in the way home. A lot of handballs not given the other night. As I said, there was one clearly in the box against Melbourne City, against Spring Hills. I was having a chat to the coaches pretty late on Friday night. Tom wasn't too impressed. He actually went up to the rest and said, "Did you see that?" Anyway, it's in the scorebook as 1-1 in that league match. Dakic down the right-hand side again, intercepted by Bunnell. Bunnell does well to control it and then nodded away to halfway. Trapped brilliantly by the brilliant Markovsky. Goes back now to Bunnell. Bunnell starting tonight. She's down the left-hand side, looking to control it. Iliadis. Back to Markovsky, who's brought down. And the challenge a bit crude. And it will be a free going the way of Bulleen. 17 minutes played. 0-0 in the Nike Cup knockout competition. The winner through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it feels like it's been much longer than that, but that's just goes to show the high intensity of this football match, as Iliadis goes all the way back, has also had a number change as well, gone to the 14 earlier in this season. Everyone's changed around with all the new girls that have come in, all the A-League girls. They were sent back the other way by Megorian and through, but Deloster has pushed that one all the way out and back out by Stringfellow as Furukawa chases her. Former teammates as well at South Melbourne, those two.
Do you think because they are W League players, they get first dibs at
I would say so.
shirt they want?
Well, Dani Beatrice has come in and stolen 7, so
Yes, she has.
you could assume, I mean, what a player she is, but of
She's
course,
a star.
gold medal winner alongside Alex Sinclair.
Scored 11 times last year, of course.
Did quite a few times in the A-League as well, but here now at Bulleen. Of course, we do mention Maya Markowski's goals as well. Just one player beats her in the Golden Boot, and it's Keely McGroarty. Just one more goal than her in the
She's
league.
having a great year, isn't she?
She is
The
as
American
well.
girl from the Royals.
And you would assume she'd make that leap up to the A-League at some point. As strike by distance and out wide, not really endangering Aoyagi. Now for
Very
a goal
important
kick.
defender, Mai Hojic. So that was off target. Spring Hills have had it on target. Probably emphasises their season a bit in the league as well, where they've had a lot of opportunities, haven't been able to take them. Down the right-hand side is Dakic. Dakic now with a little ball at close quarters and finds her teammate in Godden, who gets a through ball again down that right-hand side. Clever play. But again, the defence is pretty good getting goal side for Bulleen. They've had a lot of work to do so far. They look a little bit sluggish coming into this match. And down that left-hand side comes from Bundle again. Turnover just inside the attacking half by Spring Hills. Both teams working hard. It's very physical. It comes out to Iliadis, but she kicks into bodies. Dakic is there. They're fighting for the ball at ground level down to Godden on the right-hand side. A through ball once more, but the defence very good, and it gets back through Mahojic to her goalkeeper, Deloster.
Here's Yates now, who will just get dispossessed by Murphy. Back over to Labno. Again over to Nao, and then just patient football around the back for Spring Hills as they find Godden in the middle. Went long by Labno and taken down. And then sent on by Godden. Out to wide again, and it's just taken off the player and pushed back out by Brunel. Out for another throw. It's a bit of a foul throw there as it's sent all the way through ball down the line, and you would imagine Brunel will clean that one up.
She's been good so far, playing in defence. Pass at close quarters. Cleared by Renahan. And her teammate there in Furukawa beats a couple. She's got the defenders getting back 4 in front of her now, confronting her. She's on the left. Curling ball's a good one, but it got to the left-hand side. It was well covered by Aoji, the goalkeeper, and she throws it out down the right-hand side to Sinclair. That familiar gate, pumping hard as she goes inside now. Having it turned over as Godden. Sinclair receives it again. She's got Murphy calling for it down the left-hand side, and she honours that call. Yates in for shoot, but it might have too much on it over the byline. It does, and they dodge a bullet again, Bulleen. We're 21 minutes into the first half, and it's 0-0.
And read the loss, and I don't think she'll be in too much of a rush to get in this, of course. Did win the Nike Cup in 2024. Of course, South Melbourne last season. Spring Hills haven't really made it past the quarterfinals in any of the years, so they'd like to do one better. Of course, just their second season back in the top flight. As it's sent all the way backwards by Dakic over to Aoyagi. Yes. Driving will be Stringfellow. Sends the ball all the way through on a through ball, but Deloster feeds her centre mid back over to Iliadis, who's using her quick feet to go down the line, and Bulleen driving now, and chance for a cross, goes around the second. Strike from distance is taken backwards, and Bomford now, who will go around, find Furukawa, back to Bomford, and cleared again, only as far as Yates, who has Sinclair in front of her, but Drives into the middle to Saleh. It's cleaned up nicely as Stringfellow finds Nao. Back over to Matthews. Finds Sinclair
now,
out wide. She is. And Sinclair managed to get around Yates beautifully and cleared, and I think that's deflected off Sinclair. It is. Out for a Bulleen throw.
It is, yes. Renahan, important down there. Hojic, another one of the key players for this team tonight. Certainly had more of the ball inside their attacking half, more territory, more possession. A Stringfellow turns the throw over, but all she does is kick it into the body of Kane, who has possession now. Markowski a long way from home. Lovely deft touch to Kane. Kane now into the middle of the park. Here's Iliadis now. Gillies in pursuit. Iliadis working hard. I thought she was impeded there. Her shirt was touched from behind, but the ref let it go. Labno to Stringfellow. Good turnover again by the Spring Hills team. Nice ball by Matthews. Got it to Stringfellow, who headed down the left-hand side and couldn't control the pass. So we are 24 minutes almost into the first half, halfway there. Just got a feeling this might go a long time tonight, Ross. Remember, it's going to be extra time to get a result and then a penalty shootout.
God, it's going to be a cold one tonight as well. So, fingers crossed for our sake it doesn't go the distance. But
well, if it does, it does.
It does. It's football at the end of the day. But,
of
course, two very good sides as well, taking on each other as Markowski is in pursuit, but pushes it all the way down to a centre-back, and here's Kane, who just miskicks it over to Matthews. Here's Sinclair now, who finds Matthews back down the line and cleared by Renahan to Yates. Over to Bomford. And Furukawa's in front of her, but feeds Markowski, and Gillies puts it all the way backwards to Bomford now. Over to Furukawa.
Oh.
And it's a great turn by Furukawa and slided in by Labno. Now up for a throw.
That is an Aubrey Labno special, just skidding in and putting her boot in the way of an opponent. She's so good at it. The girl from Arizona starting to get, as Robin Williams would say in the movie Vietnam, damn hot. First month of summer over in the States, and Arizona, pretty warm place anyway. Kicking into bodies, Sinclair dancing, trying to get around opponents, but turns it over again. Yates stopping and propping. Good ball, Iliadis just kept it moving, but in the road, cleared by Spring Hills, but only as far as Kane of Bulleen. Got it back now, Mahojic towards Bomford now. Bomford wide, and unfortunately for Bulleen again, she was offside in Furukawa, and it will be a Spring Hills ball. So 0-0 at the moment. I reckon Spring Hills have had the better of it in the early stages.
I think I have to agree with that one. And of course, it's the only Nike FC Cup game today, but elsewhere in the men's Doherty Cup, it's still 0-0 between North Sunshine and Avondale. Of course, the winner of that game goes straight into the Australia Cup national rounds. What a story that would be for North Sunshine Eagles. And Avondale in that case as well. They went quite far in cup last time, playing against Newcastle Jets, of course, at their home. And Kane gets around second, and the captain message to get dispossessed by Stringfellow, pushes it back to Yates, all the way back to Renahan. Back over to DeLoster. And here's Renahan over to Iliadis. To Kane. Back now. Who fired her fullback and sends it all the way long through the channels and tries to find Markowski. Flag is stale down as Aoyagi picks that one up and will take her time in letting go of that ball.
Hojic controlling things beautifully at the back too, Ross. It's miskicked by Aoji, and Furukawa wasn't able to control it, but the brilliant Labno was, and then she slips over. falls on her backside. Normally goes for the long kick. It's turned over inside the attacking half by the Spring Hills team. Bomford couldn't control it though, down the right-hand side. And they have control a couple of times, trying to get up on goal side, and they do. Spring Hills, but cleared at the back by Mahojic again for Bulleen and Yates and Renahan. Renahan looking for a way through with a couple of opponents right with her. Renahan now goes for a long ball, and Markowski, she was caught behind her opponent Dakic, who got goal side. Markowski, though, was right next to the goalkeeper Aoji, who manages to clean up like a janitor just on the edge of the 18-yard area.
She'll drop the ball as well now, as looks to Sinclair out wide and pushed all the way out for a throw-in. And here's Yates now, who will get us underway to take the throw.
Very positive Alex Sinclair, isn't she, Ross? Saying
She
good
is.
try. Despite the fact that it missed by a fair way, the kick from the goalkeeper.
You don't play this long of football with a negative attitude, I guess. It's
No.
football at the end of the day, and 38 years of age, it's what a sight it is to see the gold medal winner.
She's a star.
As Eliadis takes the ball down, pushes the ball off her player and finds Gillies, and over now to the back to it, and down the line for a through ball, intercepted by Brunel and taken backwards now, as still lurking around in this middle third of this football pitch. Most of the game as well has been
They've got
around
very
here.
high, the
They
defenders
have.
of Bulleen, haven't they? They're right on the edge of their attacking half, as Kane has it dispossessed nicely by a more taller opponent in Godden, and now Labno has it right inside her defensive half. Brought down, I reckon, by Iliadis. I wonder if that's another professional free. Allowing the players to get back. And it will be a Spring Hills ball. And the goalkeeper a long way from home, Aoji, will take this. She'll go wide to Dakic, very reliable member of this side, down the right-hand side. Through ball again, Sinclair tried to hack it with her though. Getting a boot on that was Renahan. They both thrust their boots and studs at that. It was a good contest. They both get up though, and they're not injured, which is terrific. Trying to hack it forward was Markowski, turned over again, and they got it back inside their attacking half. Spring Hills through Gillies. Gets it wide now. Puts her teammate under the pump a little bit in Macorian. Nearly has it turned over. Stringfellow's there again. Iliadis wins possession. She stays onside now, Murakawa. But good defence to put her wide by Spring Hills. It was Stringfellow. She remained goal side, and she had to come in from a very wide position. And it's well taken by the goalkeeper in AIG.
Yeah, I wonder if they just send balls in and hoping that Maya Markovsky's sitting in the box for a header or a first-time volley, but she wasn't there that time, as Stringfellow sends it down to Sinclair. And here's Mysick over to Brunel, who's chasing. And she does get around her counterpart and sends it all the way through to the middle. Is Godden. Back to Markovsky now, who will just turn backwards to Saleh. Into the middle to Kane. Backwards again to Eliadis. Again, just what a professional she is as well. Spent many years at the top of her game.
She did.
As well as some time in Europe as well, actually. But
Played in a couple of W League teams, Sarah
She
Kane,
did.
didn't she, Ross?
she did as well. Quite a few. Melbourne Victory, of course, alike.
Yep.
Did spend some time in the Olympiacos Academy.
Perth Glory.
Perth Glory, some
Yep.
time in Portugal as well. Of course, South Melbourne previously as well. Did join Bulleen Lions mid-season last year, but they made Bulleen Lions her home, of course. This is her fourth stint at the club over her long career. As sent down the line by Saleh, who will squash the ball in along the floor. Cleared once again by Spring Hills, and back the other way is Sinclair. Is taken down by Eliadis, but it's play on, and Kane Finds Furukawa, who's tripped. Chance for a free kick now. The Bulleen Lions, and you would assume it would be Markovski potentially to take, or Olivia Bomford.
Just outside the 18-yard area. You'd think that if it's a penalty, Markovski takes it every day of the week, but
she's standing over it.
yeah, she wants it, doesn't she?
I think they're having a discussion now, deciding who will take this one.
She's got that knee heavily bandaged.
She does.
There's a fracture there. So they're both having a chat, Bomford and Markovski. Maybe it's all part of the plan to just... well, that was very clever by Markovski because she was... but unfortunately for Bomford, she put too much on it and sailed aimlessly and harmlessly over the crossbar. But I think what they were trying to do, and you could probably explain this better, Ross, was they were both together, Bomford and Markovski, and I think they were trying to confuse the wall in front of them from Spring Hills as to who was going to take the spot kick.
I think they were a bit confused with each other a little bit as well, to be honest. I mean, I back Markovski in that position to take a free kick. She scored a couple in her time, but I think Olivia Bomford was a bit confused that she was the one taking it, but of course there's an opportunity gonna miss as 33 minutes hit the clock here in this round 5 of this Nike Cup game, and again under pressure now and backwards to Sinclair. Over down the line for Spring Hills to drive and feed up by the fullback and out for another throw with Spring Hills.
They're working the right hand side well, Spring Hills, but just the final third, bar that one shot which hit the right goal post, just letting them down a bit, and that's sort of been their issue all year as Kane now receives inside the attacking half of the Lions, but no one at the back, and it'll be mopped up by the goalkeeper, Aoji, in for Jenna Ibrahim after coming across from Melbourne City at the end of their season, of which they won the championship. Wide now to Dakic, beating Wellington in the final.
Of course, nearly won a treble as well.
They did.
Win, of course, the championship, premiership, and just bowed out in that Asian Champions League final.
It's been a big year, hasn't it?
It has been a very, very long season for Melbourne City, of course. Danny Boutrous as well. Spent some time at Melbourne City. Absent today, but you'd assume when she's back, she's really going to shore up that one of these wider positions as Spring Hills have a chance here all the way through, and it's Sinclair from range. And Delosta has done well to clean that one up.
And also, I thought the defenders were good again getting goal side, Ross, which meant that she had to go wide. She didn't have a chance to go through the middle of the pitch, as Yates has it now. She had Sinclair right with her, then had to get control of the ball. Back to Kane, back to Yates. Sinclair's right with her and just gets a boot on that turnover. Here's Gillies now, passing towards the top of the 18-yard area, looking to try and shoot, not able to. Spring Hills back now. It was Matthews to Gillies to Sinclair again, brought down by Yates. Good contest. And the youngster beat one of the veterans in the competition. And passes now to Bomford. Bomford looking for a way through. Down the right-hand side, it's a nice lobbing little ball towards Furukawa, who's under pressure. Which way to go? She goes once, she goes twice. Solare's there! Great stop by Aoji! Stops again! But in the end, they pushed it to the right-hand side. Lavno tried to throw her boot out of it. She wasn't able to, and they score the goal. Unbelievable football.
I think the goalkeeper's very unlucky there to not
very
have that
unlucky.
one taken out, but just a bit of a scramble in that box there, and I think it was Nikki Furukawa who gets her first goal for the Lions. But
and puts them up 1-0, and that's just unlucky, isn't it? Because Spring Hills had a chance down the other end. They hit the right goal post.
And Ayagi's done very well to get that first save. But
she did terrifically, and then she was off balance.
Yes.
And then Lavno was attempting to thrust that boot at it, which she's very good at it, as I've mentioned a few times, Ross, and she wasn't able to.
There's 10 minutes to go this first half now, and so far it's Bulleen Lions booking themselves a spot in the next round of the Nike FC Cup. Of course, Cup veterans as well, 2-time winners.
Just a very good side, aren't they? Perennially in contention.
Now, so they've always been up and around the finals series as well in the NPL Women's most of the time, and they generally recruit quite well in the transfer window. Of course, now he's closed, but of course we've mentioned a couple names here that have signed for Bulleen. As sent backwards by Stringfellow. Here's Markovski now, who will lob the ball over the top, and that's Furukawa now, who's got space to drive, comes around. Stringfellow crossed and pushed out.
Dakic did very well there. That was clever by Markovski, wasn't it? I know we sing her praises a lot, Ross, but it was just that little
It's hard not to.
over the top.
It's hard not to sing her praises when she's just all over
She's
the
a
place.
star, isn't she? And that height, particularly in the box when a corner comes in, you'd be a bit concerned as to where she is. Good work by Yates and now Kane as they went to the middle of the pitch. And Mohocic, the centre back, goes wide now to Bunnell. Bunnell loops it long, and the header missed deliberately by Dakic because it's cleaned up at the back by Aoji. They're down 1-0, but they've done a lot right, Spring Hills. As I say, they missed a goal to the right-hand side from Kawasaki after a save was made, and then it bobbled out of her hands by DeLoster. And a little bit like Aoji, who was caught off balance, as she made a great save, and they just kept it inside the 10-yard box, the Bulleen team, and they tipped it home through their new recruit, Furukawa.
That's just Markovski there with a driving shot along the floor and set up by Bunell again, as mentioned. And here's Oyagi. He will send a long ball over to Nayo. And then here's Bomford over to Kane. Here's Soleil out wide. Does have numbers in the box, and we'll go down the line. Finds Kane. Again, Markovski following, but into the arms again of the Spring Hills goalkeeper. She's had a pretty good game on her
she has.
reintroduction to the NPL Women's. Of course, didn't play a whole lot of games last year for South Melbourne. Got that move to Melbourne City and back here now, and we'll see if she takes that goalkeeper shirt off Jenna Ibrahim, who's been a real stalwart of the league for quite a few years and for this Spring Hill side. But pushed down the line by Furukawa to Renahan, over to Eliadis. It's a long ball over the top to Bomford, headed on by Dakic, and backwards now by Matthews, who will Mysic over to Eliadis, who will drive and strike on the floor to Markovski, who tries the back heel and just about gets to Aoyagi's hands.
She was clever than Eliadis because she had opponents around her. I think she shaped the shoot, and then she just went for the little pass to Markovski. As it's turned over against Bomford, had two opponents around her, and they strip her of the ball, and down the right-hand side goes Dakic. Bunnell's been excellent so far, and she's controlling that left side defensively very cleverly for the Lions, who get a free kick here. Player brought down. It'll be Sarah Kane, the player brought down. Soler right next to her as to who's going to take that free kick, and they're hovering on the edge of the 18-yard area, including that very tall figure of Maya Markovski. Pace taken off, lobbing to Markovski. Couldn't quite get a header on that. Cleared at the back now. Murphy, and she falls over an opponent. I reckon they just tripped each other up, but the free will go the way of, or is it out of play? Might be out of play, I think. Soler will have the ball anyway, Ross.
I think it's a potentially throw. Well, there's a person in the wall, but
no, it's a free.
It'll be a free kick.
It is.
Now Soleil to take this one.
Not
and
sure
of
about
course,
that because I thought
yeah,
both players sort of stumbled over each other.
Of course, getting back underway with a free kick and got the height of Markovski lurking. The ball sent in. Clipped up by Yagi. Cleared again by Kane, and then back to Yates now. He will go around and find Saleh out wide again, out for a throw.
It's interesting play by Yates, and as we can see on our stream tonight, she sort of just waited for the ball to come to her. And I think she was thinking where she was going to actually place it. She completely miskicked it. Here's Matthews now into the middle of the park. Very quick to get hold of that as the headbanded funnel. She goes back now to Kane and to Renahan, controlling things very high at centre back. Mahocic, Kane, some very good players here, keeping control of the ball now. Nice ball, right across the goal mouth, going from one side of the pitch to the other to Renahan. Mahocic again. Long ball, headed at the back though. Good play by Godden to try and get it away from the goal area. Bomford goes after it, but coming the other way, Lavno holds her ground, and Bomford does a seesaw as she tips over the top, and she's in a little bit of pain. Unbelievable play by Lavno again. If you get in her road, look out. Yes. 43 minutes gone in the first half. It's Bulleen 1, Spring Hills 0.
Yeah, she's really kept them in this game. Aubrey Labno, of course, the American, did join the team this year, and medic will be called on for Olivia Bomford.
And I reckon, I've seen a lot of them, as I said to you, Ross. I reckon she has to be a massive chance of being the league MVP at the end of the season.
I could say
Again,
so, of
I
course.
haven't seen every team.
4 goals to a name this year as well. Yeah, 4 goals to a name this year as well. Generally, of course, defenders don't tend to win them, but it's been a bit of a utility player for this side as well, spending some time in midfield as well as defence. But
how do you feel about that? I mean, we talk about in the AFL that midfielders win it all.
Yeah.
A defender, if she's good enough, and she does go forward as well.
I think it's definitely in for a
contention, doesn't she?
Definitely in for a contention. I think the name on my mind. You look at the likes of Markovsky, McGrory, and Erin Kite. Of course, the goals are really a staple in these type of voting systems. But of course, when you've got 19 goals to your name in your first league in the NPL Victoria with Kelly McGrory, I think she's got my vote. But of course, defenders did deserve their.
Haven't they done well, the Royals?
They have. They're
equal top. They've hardly lost a game in recent weeks. They're just.
Of course, they did beat.
I saw them early in the season. I thought they were a bit rusty. They
were.
Struggled to win out here against Spring Hills, but they've just got better and better.
Yeah, they did, of course, beat Box Hill 7-1 last week, which was a bit of a shock to most people watching. Of course, Box Hill were top.
Yeah.
And then obviously that 7-1 win, of course, McGrory scored 2 that game herself, as well as one of their newer signings.
I also saw them battle a bit to get over the line against Avondale out at Western United. Very warm afternoon it was.
Yes.
But they found a way again. McGrory
managed
was
to find
a
way,
yeah.
So, interesting to see how the second half of the year goes well. You'd assume the likes of Bulleen would be up there in contention, as well as South Melbourne, of course, Box Hill. The usual contenders in the final series.
Alamein on the edge,
Alamein on the edge. Of course, they didn't really recruit quite well in this window. They didn't get any A-League girls come through the door, but common trends with Alamein as Spring Hills get us back underway with Aoyagi at the back, and here's Labno now, who goes back to it. Out wide. And just patient football as well now for Spring Hills, with just over the 45-minute mark as well. And you'd assume it'd be a little bit more time added on for that head injury.
I'm going to go inside at half-time. I reckon the temperature's dropped about 100.
It is Yates who will send it into the middle to Mysick. Out wide. It's just bounced off the referee there. Ball trying to be sent wide to Niasale, but will be another chance for Bulleen now, and here's Kane. Sent through to Eliadis. Taken off by Godden.
Good solid defender, Godden, with a height, Ross.
Of course, another new signing as well. As Labno is really working well with that partnership with Godden, of course. Down to Stringfellow. I think that's bounced off Yates, and it will be a Spring Hills throw. Taken backwards, but of course, Godden spent some time in the Arsenal setup.
Yes, she did. That would have certainly been a magnificent experience for her.
Of course, Charlton Athletic as well. US college system.
Yep.
Moved over there. Also spent some time with the young Matildas as well. So, what a journey she's had. As Furukawa just knocks that one out for another throw. And you'd assume it'd be pretty much wrapping up the first half here.
It was a bit of a break for injury time, wasn't there, with one of the players going down. 1-0 lead to Bulleen. Spring Hills, though, a little bit unlucky, I would have thought. Should have scored, hitting that right goal post. That's half time. And Bulleen with 1 foot into the quarterfinals of the Nike Cup. I thought Spring Hills had the better of the game, especially early days. We've spoken about that missed opportunity of a goal hitting the right goal post for Spring Hills early days. And then, of course, Aoji made a magnificent save, and then the ball was just scrambling around the 10-yard box. And despite the efforts of Lavno to get back and help a goalkeeper, it was tipped in, hanging around the right-hand side. Again, probably a little bit luckily for Bulleen by Furukawa, but she scores. That's what football's all about, isn't it, Ross? You've got to make the most of your opportunities. You've got to find the back of the net whenever the opportunity presents, and it did for Bulleen. That's why they're a very, very good side. But Spring Hills have taken it up to them. It's 1-0 at half-time in the Nike Cup.
Of course, it's a game of moments, and Bulleen got their moment with Nikki Furukawa, who gave us that 1-0 lead going into the half. We'll be back in 15 minutes' time for some more at Nike FC Cup action. We'll see you for the second half very shortly.
Come back in 10 minutes, mate. It's too cold out here. Have a beer. Oh, it's too cold to have a beer.
the USB to USB. So I only got USB USB-C. Sister, so I've got only USB USB-C connectors here. So it's a USB connector on the library that I plug in. It's only got the DC. And I only got one USB. No, I managed to get power. Yeah, okay. Sure. I'll see if I can find the power. Check it.
Well, I am too. I'm very close with him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was part of it.
The last year, was the first 2022, No, well, they're at the Trojan.
Yeah.
No, out at Knox.
Oh,
Where it's the emerging one.
Yeah, home of the Matildas is so close now. Like on the trophy, I went to the trophy anyway, so like it's super close. I don't even know following them because like I'm not driving it again. I hate driving. I used to love driving. I just hate driving.
camera came up, having a lot of complaints. It's gone off a few times.
Sure.
I know you're doing your best, but
Yeah, it's good. Sometimes it's dropping off because I don't have power in here. I'm going to stop it now.
Back underway here at Springside Recreation Reserve. Of course, 1-0 to Bulleen Lions by way of Nikki Furukawa. And his Bunnell will go back to Marasik. And then here's Renahan now. And he will look up and go through to Furukawa. To Eliadis through to Furukawa, who's got the ball behind her, and goes through to Aoyagi. Over to Dakic. Just slows the game down. Does Ayano Yagi. Back to Dakic now. And slots it all the way through to Alex Sinclair, who's keeping up positive attitude. Of course, it'll be Bennell as well to take. Backwards again to Bunnell's free kick, and back joined by Dan Lonergan again. Hello.
G'day, Ross. Just had to, hope people don't mind, just had to have my dinner. Just had to finish it with a magnificent chicken strip sub roll that the ladies do a great job in the canteen. Found out some more miscellaneous information for you, Ross. Sarah Kane has got the ball now, is the granddaughter of the former Premier of Victoria, John Kane.
Wow.
Actually,
well, there you go.
I used to muck around many years ago. He's a little bit older than me, her father, James.
Well, there you go. What a
very small world.
Fun fact for you, yeah.
Sarah Kane goes after it again. Premier of Victoria for over 8 years, John Kane. Here's Solaire now. Inside the attacking half. Bomford back to Solaire, looking for a way through. In the road, of course, guess who? Labno has to go wide now down that right-hand side. Furukawa, she's under pressure. She's got opponents around her, one of them being Springfellow. Has to go close to the line. Again, Labno getting back. What a great defender she is. She just protects her goalkeeper so well. A rare corner, though, down at the western end. On this cold evening. Still evening, but it's cold. And we'll see what the Bulleen team can do. The lead 1-0. Might have been a bit lucky, but you've got to make your luck in this game. Opportunities can be few and far between. It bobbles around. Solaire on the edge of the 18-yard area. In pursuit is Matthews. Again, it lands in bodies. Ricochets, but she was unfortunately offside. Furukawa, the goal scorer for Bulleen in the first half, remains 1-0 early stages second half in this knockout fixture in the Nike Cup.
Yes, of course, Nikki Furukawa spent some time as well in New Zealand, as well as, of course, the Canadian leagues and the US college system for joining South Melbourne, and then, of course, joining Bulleen Lions this season in the window. As Ayagi goes over to Gillies and then back, intercepted by Bulleen, and chance to run through, but goes all the way backwards and down the line to Soleil. Tries a 1-2 with Maya Markovsky, crossed in for Soleil and just sent out wide for another goal kick with Spring Hills.
It was a nice header, wasn't it?
It was.
I do worry a little bit, and I've said this a few times, Ross, about the headers in regard to the HIA and the concussion. That you've got to get it right, don't you?
You do.
And obviously all these players, very good players, would practice it to ensure that they do it correctly.
Of course, you've got Maya Markovsky, scored a header or two in a lifetime as a footballer, and was picking over a pre-game as well.
She's still on. It
exactly.
is the second half, and they lead 1-0.
She'd want a goal before she leaves, knowing Maya,
she loves
but
it, doesn't she?
She does love to score goals.
Just to get the bragging rights at home.
Of course, they do have a few people on the bench that could take her place. The likes of Maddie Rakic, Bridis, Ashley Gordon, Alana Cotolino and Cleo Angel on the bench for Bulleen Lions, if they do look to the bench. There's Bridis as well, former Canberra United teammate of Maya Markovsky.
Yes.
Before she was meant to move to Western United, unfortunately that didn't come through, of course, due to all of their issues.
They've got that big stadium, it just sits out there on its own.
Does for the
it's a bit of
people
a worry,
on one side.
Yep.
Of course, the Spring Hills on the bench as well. They've got Jenny Ibrahim, Bianca Liberto, Mia Deskolovska, Isabella Arredondo, Chelsea De Silva, and Jacinta Tana Crook.
So, trying to work her way through here is Mahachik. Nice through ball. Out on the left-hand side, but offside is Iliadis. And getting back to try and put pressure on her was Megorian, who goes down the line and completely miskicks that one.
Yeah, Megorian, another newer signing this window, of course, was a bit injured, joined from the US college system as well. Also spent some time, of course, at Calder United and Bulleen herself. But
interesting outfit for Barnell right in front of us here. She's obviously got the skins on, and then she's got the socks up as high as they could possibly go. Almost wear a shorts, mate. As I said, miscellaneous information, Ross. Here's a chance now, but Renahan, she's missed it on a couple of occasions. I thought she had it in control, and I thought, well, if there was someone there for Spring Hills, they were a chance. Here now it's Stringfellow, but across the face, across the goal mouth. And I wonder whether she was trying a pass because she could see Sinclair duck out the back and stay on side. But you could almost say she was having a shot as well. But whatever happened, didn't happen for what they wanted. If you understand any of that, you're a better man than I. Here's Myerchick now down the right-hand side. Pressure being placed on her. She runs away, though, from Kawasaki, and then she sets something up inside the attacking half now. But again, we've seen a lot of offside tonight. I reckon that's nearly the 10th one we've seen tonight, Ross.
I think so.
And Furukawa, who scored the goal for Bulleen in that first half, was the player that infringed offside on that occasion. 53 minutes in, Bulleen 1, Spring Hills 0. Remembering that if scores are level at the end of regular time, We will go into extra time. If they're still level, we have the penalty shootout.
Of course, Colt hero Ayano Yagi does sit in between the sticks for Spring Hills. Did save that winning penalty for South Melbourne in that final. In that Nike Cup final, of course, last year.
Against Heidelberg.
Against Heidelberg, exactly. Of course, the winner was scored. The winning penalty, of course, was scored by SN Royals player. I cannot remember her name. Akeisha Sandhu is the one. Of course, most of these girls played in that game. Of course, Olivia Bomford, Nikki Furukawa all played in that game as South Melbourne won their first Nike Cup. As Sinclair knocks it down the line and out again for her throw, and this time it'll be Eva Megorian.
They've lost a few, haven't they, South Melbourne?
They do.
Very strong team, but they still pick them up as well.
They did sign, of course, quite a few people. Lana Shern and Clancy Westerway joined the ranks there. Of course, Eva Guzmit did do her ACL, but Clancy Westerway is in place of her, and what a player she was as well. Of course, moved from FE Academy to Perth Glory and spent that year there alongside Sarah O'Donoghue, who's at Heidelberg United now.
They're attacking hard at the moment here, Bulleen.
Quite a few players there, and yes, they are attacking hard.
I think they're trying to get the goal that might break the back, because I'm sure there'll be changes made very soon, if not already. You would think players need to be looked at for the next round of matches on the weekend. Spring Hills are travelling to the Cross Keys Reserve to take on the top team Essendon Royals.
That is a change as well coming on. Bulleen Lions, and it's Ava Bridus on the pitch, playing in that centre mid role, and I think she replaced a like-for-like change. Didn't quite capture who that was, but she's sitting in the middle, of course, former Canberra United Melbourne Victory player as well. Sent through, and here she is now, Bridus. The ball sent through ball to Markovsky, but intercepted by Dakic. Then backwards is Bonnell. Has the back heel, and Eliadis to Saleh.
Oh, it's the second time.
Referee for the second time today.
Got to be better than that. I know he doesn't mean to be there, but he probably needs to just keep a track on where the ball's heading.
And I think,
with the greatest respect.
I think Ava Bridus has replaced Olivia Bomford in that middle of the park there.
Kane working her way through, and then she just controls the ball to her own advantage, realising it was all Spring Hill shirts in front of her. Didn't allow her way through, but Majacek, who's been very good tonight, finds Iliadis. Kane, a little dappy ball, was intercepted by Godden, who goes back to the goalkeeper. Aoji has done a very good job tonight. Just conceded that one goal, but she made a great save beforehand. Here is Dakic down that right-hand side, right in front of our commentary position. Majacek is there along with Bunnell to offer defensive reserves, and Renahan, who receives now from Deloster, goes down the middle of the park. Look at that, just keeping it moving on from Markovsky. It didn't find the target, but that was just brilliant football. If it had found the target, who knows what could have happened. She just kept it moving, but it went out of play, unfortunately. Great to watch, though, when the players do that. 58 minutes gone, Bulleen are 1, Spring Hills are 0.
Of course, we did mention as well, these two have played each other 5 times. Spring Hills have lost 4 and drawn 1 of them. Of course, the last time they met in the Nike Cup as well, they did go to penalties. Bulleen won that game 3-2. Quite a few moons ago, as Spring Hills managed to try and find some space on the edge of the box, and it's gone from range, deflected, and shouts for a handball, I think it was. But Deloster has...
That would have been an own goal, of course, if it got past Deloster, but she had it under control.
Bounced off the back of Ava Bridus, potentially one of those two, but going back the other way now, and had many opportunities here, and it looks like a change is getting ready to come on.
There'll be a few now, I think.
It's for Spring Hills. Can't quite see that far.
I think it's Arredonda, but we'll confirm that for you, Ross. It's one of their smaller players. Played very well on Friday night in the draw against Melbourne City, one of her team's best, as Kane pushes it on. Defensively, though, to Renahan, whose great-grandfather, I've been told, played VFA football with Hawthorn before they joined the AFL in 1925. Goes down now to Markovski. Lovely ball down the right-hand side, but just had a bit too much on it for Okawa. A couple of times she's just missed the target, but it always looks good when it comes off the boot of Maya Markovski, who I thought might have already gone off by now with the team leading 1-0, considering she's got that bad injury, but she manages to get through games. And even on the weekend she wasn't meant to play, but came on late and scored the equaliser. Of course she did, Ross.
Yes, so confirmation of that change was actually number 25, Mia Daskalovska.
Okay.
Who came on. Similar profile type of player to Isabella Arredondo, but Bulleen trying to push pressure on that Spring Hills back line there, but Awayagi will get us back underway. Of course, Daskalovska did come through that Calder United system. And then, of course, we know what happened with them. Of course, I guess you could say absorbed by Avondale, per se. And, of course, now at Spring Hills. And here she is now. Knocks the ball on. Knocks the ball all the way through. And that's actually Chelsea De Silva, who's also on. Must have come on at half-time. And here's Daskalovka chasing. Pushed back by Renahan. Over to Markovski. Pushed on to Saleh and all the way through to Stringfellow.
They've had a good battle, Dakic and Markovski. It's in the middle of the pitch. Gillies had it whipped away by Kane, who I think has undoubtedly been the best player on the pitch by the length of the Flemington straight. Unfortunately, Myerchick, as far as Bulleen are concerned, had it stripped away from her. And they get it back inside the defensive half as they're up the defenders for Spring Hills. It was Makorian combining with Dakic, but turned over once more by Saleh for Bulleen. Myerchick, who's been outstanding. And now Renahan looking for a way through. Goes back now to Myerchick. Myerchick and Renahan sharing it inside the defensive half. And again, good play by Daskalovska to just ensure that they can't get the ball through and they just have to pass across the pitch. Now Renahan, who likes those searching runs, out on the right-hand side. Yates looking to try and control the ball. She comes inside now. Kane once more, who doesn't make too many errors with her passing. And that's a pretty good one to Saleh now, controlling it with Dakic behind her. Goes back to Brightus. And she heads to the right-hand side. Again, getting high, as I said, the Spring Hills defenders, Ross, but they control the ball so nicely, Bulleen.
Yes, of course. 2 attacking changes for Spring Hills as well. 19-year-old Mia Daskalovska and 20-year-old Chelsea De Silva entered the play. And it's Bulleen now who go back the other way. Brightus is taken down and it's going to be a free kick the other way for Spring Hills.
No. It does get in the wars. I know a couple of times this season, Ross, in separate games in the league competition, she's received a falcon in the face, but she just gets up and keeps going. I think they would need to maybe give her some time off. Such an important member of this team. I think in the last Nike Cup match they played against Geelong, she did spend some time off. And all the matches I've seen for Spring Hills this year, she has never gone off.
Of course, also absent from the Spring Hill side is the likes of Danny Tobon.
Yes.
Olivia Anderson, Margot Clark and Lauren Antonello.
Well, Margot Clark was running tonight.
She was.
Had that bad knee, so she's expected back in about 3 weeks' time. Talking to Tom Markowski about that, he was like a kid in a candy store when he was talking about her. Down the right-hand side, Iliadis. Again, Stringfellow gets in the way and just boots it out of potential danger and over the sideline for Spring Hills. We're in the 64th minute. I'm having trouble holding onto the microphone. My hands are just about frozen to death, Ross.
Yes, I was secretly hoping this game didn't go to extra time for my sake, but
Kane was
selfishly.
shoved down by Gillies and the ref let it go. He's finally called it. Gee, that was a late call because there was already a couple of possessions after Kane was bowled over. I think it was definitely there. It was an interesting late call, though. Mahojic goes wide now to Renahan. Those defenders have waxed a lot when they've looked for a way through, as they do again on this occasion. Mahojic has Dashalovska for company. In short now. Iliadis pushes opponents over the nice pass to Mahojic with a through ball. Oh, that was the back heel from Markowski, hoping someone might run onto it. They don't. And it's mopped up at the back by the goalkeeper, Aoji.
Of course, the centre ref today is Geordie Walton. He's joined by Liam Beckett and Thomas Cardy in this round 5 clash. Of course, so far it is Bulleen Lions progressing into the next round of the Cup. Of course, plenty of Nike Cup action on tomorrow, as well as just taken down is Mysick as Brightus goes out wide to Furukawa, the goal scorer. Goes around the second to Brightus again. Strike from range by Brightus into off the post as Markowski keeps chasing. And that was almost 2-0 over Brightus off the post as Markowski tries the backheel. Sent in by Saleh. Backheeled again into the safe arms of Aryagi.
That was clever by Iliadis. Well, it's one go each, if you like, for goals that have just missed hitting the goalpost for both teams. Here is Macorian, goes across the goal face to Labno, who's cool, calm and collected. But Aoji, Iliadis is right with her though, but the pass is pretty good to Godden. He'll go long now, looking for Sinclair to get onside or stay onside. Yates is in pursuit now, two of the more diminutive players out on the pitch tonight. And Sinclair is boxed in by Yates, who keeps her honest and pushes it over the sideline. Here's Sinclair now, just near where the byline and the sideline meets. Dashalovska, and it's going to be a goal kick. So we are in the 67th minute in this Nike Cup encounter. It's Bulleen 1, Spring Hills 0.
Yes, of course. Just 25 to play on the clock here. Just the 2 changes for Spring Hills, the 1 for Bulleen. Nothing really to make note of in this second half. Of course, winner goes through knockout football, and they look forward to the game on the weekend as well. As Bulleen Lions do lead in this clash. May Markowski remains on the pitch 65 minutes into this game, and you would assume they would look to their bench soon after the game probably gets wrapped up. We know that she can create goals out of nothing, so I think they're pretty much relying on her to put this game to bed and continue on to the next round of the Nike FC Cup as Yana Aoyagi's under pressure. Goes over to Dakic, who goes all the way along. And Sinclair's chasing. Cleared by Mysick. And then out for another throw. Looks like potentially a change getting ready to come on for either side as well. And throw in sent in. Only as far as the Bulleen back line, but pushed on again. And Brightus with the long ball. Knocked on by Saleh, who's got Gillies in front of her, and is sent out wide to Chelsea De Silva with the cross all the way through. and picked up by DeLosta. And that's a great cross in the box by Chelsea De Silva. Almost 1-1.
Dashalovska had the hack and she missed it, unfortunately, for Spring Hills Ross, as DeLosta shares it with Renahan just outside the 18-yard area. Catherine Renahan, very solid player. Mahajcik, she's been excellent tonight. Plays with the socks down, not many do. Back to Renahan, who had De Silva lurking. Now in the direction of DeLosta. Markowski again, two opponents around her. One of them is Labno. Good little ball to Solaire. Putting some pressure on her is McGorian of Spring Hills. Through ball by Renahan was cut off, but Kane made it better as far as Bulleen was concerned and ensured there was no damage, as Renahan has Dashalovska running all over the place, putting pressure on the defenders, having to go back to the goalkeeper. This is a through ball now. Has she stayed on side? She has. For Akama, no, she hasn't. She was racing down that right-hand side. And she's been offside a few times. Remains 1-0 in the 70th minute.
It looks like there's a Bulleen player on the floor. I think she's just cramping up. Looks like it was potentially Mahajcik.
Comes off, doesn't she? Well, she did remember about 5 minutes ago she miskicked. I believe there's no picture at the moment. But as far as I know, the commentary is still going. So we do apologise for that. Ross will confirm that. So there's a player down, so we'll get a couple of extra minutes. We've had a few issues with the picture tonight, and again we apologise. One of the players' dads from Albury checked in with his daughter, Lauren Antonello, who's injured. She's due back in a couple of weeks' time for Spring Hills. And she said that there'd been a couple of issues, but we'll keep an eye on that. It's great to be here, though. Myself and Ross looking after you in this Nike Cup round of 32, or fifth round, whichever way you look at it. Roscoe, if you don't mind me calling you that. I call a lot of guys who are Roscoe for some reason.
I don't mind that. That's all right.
As long as you're okay with it. 71 minutes gone. And it is Bulleen 1 and Spring Hills 0. And there's still some trouble down there for Mahajcik. A little bit earlier on, as I said, she was trying to clear the ball and she got it maybe a bit high on her shin. And that might also be a result of that. I think she needs to come off. I mean, she can come off now. She's so important to this team in the defensive part of the ground. And I know to make it deep in the Nike Cup's a great achievement, but I get the impression, and you can correct me, Ross, if I'm wrong, that I think the coaches and the clubs place more emphasis on the league than they do on the Nike Cup. Take nothing away from the Nike Cup. It's a great competition. You like to win trophies in football.
I think the likes of Bulleen Lions and the like will focus on the league, with considering their high position, as Saleh manages to try to split the defence and goes all the way out wide for Rakawa, and not quite.
Terrible turnover there by Godden too, Ross.
There will be a free kick as well. Looks like it will be a free kick for Bulleen Lions, and Mahajcik's back on the pitch. I think it is.
Yeah, she's still there, but I'm thinking that it might be a good time to come off, to be honest. But
of course.
They're going to keep her on.
Spent some time at Perth Glory, South Melbourne and FB Emerging, also at Junior and a Young Matilda. And a free kick here for Bulleen Lions. The ball sent along the floor, striked along the floor, and a bit of a scramble in the box, but not quite dealt with, and pushed out of safety by Bella Stringfellow.
She had a good year. She started as a sub, Bella, and she's found her way, I think, the second home game down back, but she's also a very good two-way runner. She's quick, so she can cover the pitch. That's what you need. They're going to make a change here. I think it might be the aforementioned Bella Stringfellow.
I think it is.
Yes. Why not? Because she's so important to this team. They've got a big game against Essendon on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good game to watch. The likes of the four Messenger Royals have been in. And I think that's just into Tarnart Croc who's been entered. We'll get confirmation for you when we are sure. But Bulleen Lions feed it all the way through, and it's cleared out for a throw-in for Bulleen Lions, and still not out of danger for them. And it's just a missed kick again and sent into the middle of the park by Markovski. Cleared again by Labno, and it will be a corner.
Yes, they've had a few corners in recent times. Bulleen looking to press for the goal that you think had put it beyond doubt. We're in the 74th minute. Both teams have hit the goalpost tonight, Spring Hill's early days. And then Bulleen maybe a little bit lucky with the scramble in the box after a great save by Augie. In general, he's been a very good goalkeeper tonight. Been given an opportunity ahead of the long-time goalkeeper, Jenna Ibrahim. Nearly missed by everyone from both teams. And in the end, Augie had to pounce because there was boots being thrust at that left, right and centre and not really connecting. And luckily, Augie went where Angels fear to tread and said, that is my ball in my box, and was able to take it comfortably as Darkic receives from her from a throw. And Solera's right there, and she says to Natasha Darkic, Tash, you better get it back to your goalkeeper, who then passes quickly to Godden. Back now to Augie, who's got nothing around her except opponents in white and maroon. And here's Mahojic again, who does very, very well to trap it, try and get it down the left-hand side, but intercepted by Dakic. He's had a great battle with Markovski. There's been some good one-on-ones tonight, and that has probably, Ross, been the pick of them.
I think so, and just an interesting fact about, of course, Ayano Yagi in between the sticks for Spring Hills. Did spend some time in the NCAA Division 2 at Florida Tech. And there's 4 other players in this league that are an alumni of that university and played in that championship-winning squad. The likes of Danny Tobin, Savannah Oxley, and Mia Otero. Eve Titakakis as well. All spent some time in that squad. Shout out to that championship-winning squad there. It's a throw that looks to be a foul throw, but all the way back out for another goal kick with that, and it looks like another change might be around, and just the one change for Bulleen Lions as well so far. Of course, Maya Markovski remains on the pitch 75 minutes into this game, 15 to go.
It's interesting by Katie Friend, who's the youngest coach in the comp. She's in her early 30s. I met her before the game, and that they haven't made more changes. Renahan at the back will mop up again, as she so often does. Trying to thrust the boot in to get it forward. Not able to. Bulleen, nearly a turnover. Well, Godden was brought to ground, I thought illegally, by Brightus, and the ref agrees.
Of course, Bulleen Lions take on Keilor Park, so not the hardest game in the league, but
Keilor Park just lack goal-kicking prowess. I saw them early in the year. Got that English striker who generally plays down back. Is the one that has scored a lot of their goals. So down the left-hand side. It goes over the byline. Is it going to be a corner kick? It might be a rare corner kick. It will be for the Spring Hills team. Most of the corner kicks have come Bulleen's way, Ross, so they need to make the most of this as all the Bulleen players are there to protect their goalkeeper, DeLoster.
Yeah, I don't really think they've got anything to lose at this point of the game. 1-0 down. You need to get something out of this game to send it to extra time, and I don't think it's a bad decision sending everyone up. Just one player sitting back for them. It's Dakic stays back, and we'll have a corner now for Spring Hills. Almost through. Sent in. Long and high. Cleared by Markovski. And here's Matthews, who is Labno now, and again dispossessed. But here's the counter attack for Bulleen Lions. He won't be in any rush, but back to Markovski. Over to Bunnell.
Angels come on too for Bulleen, Ross.
Well, there you go.
Renahan from Kane down the right-hand side. Yates, the through ball. Pushed on again by Brightus. And the last team to touch it was Spring Hills. Another fun fact, Arnold Brightus presented the Norm Smith Medal, one of the AFL Grand Finals. The great uncle of Ava Brightus. Through ball again. Having to go back though, the Bulleen team as they won possession. Mahojic, Renahan, Iliadis back in defence to help out for Bulleen, who still lead 1-0. Brightus, the aforementioned, shoved off it by the solid figure of Labno. Been very good again. Renahan turns opponents inside out. Through ball again, but nothing on the end of it. And mopped up at the back by Megorian of Spring Hills, who trail 1-0 as we approach the 80th minute.
This is Dakic now, who will send the ball down to Gillies and tries to find Chelsea De Silva out wide again, and it will be a Nat Dakic throw in here. The long sleeves on.
Player, Dakic.
And sends it over to Daskalovska. And then back. Ball sent in all the way to Lost Psalms, and claims that ball very safely and goes quickly. Out to Eliadis. Down the line to Brightus. And backwards. Goes down the line again to Furukawa. And takes the ball out. And it will be their throw still.
She's given them a lot of run for Furukawa down that right-hand side, hasn't she? Ross, she's been very good tonight. A couple of times she's been caught offside. In fact, a lot of times. But that's just her way of trying to create an opportunity for Bulleen. And another opportunity now as they work it to the top of the 18-yard area. Soler has an opponent to beat. That is Godden. She shoots and just misses to the left-hand side. She'd beaten the goalkeeper, I reckon, Ayuji, and it was just off target. She did so well to control the ball top of the 18-yard area with opponents all around her, but she couldn't quite finish it. Megorian was the player that was there, and that could have been 2-0, but it's not. Could have, should have, would have.
There's another change coming on for Spring Hills. It's Rachel Gillies coming off. And there's not a lot of people left on their bench, so it could only be the likes of Liberto or Arredondo.
Liberto's
It is Liberto.
interesting player in that she's an exercise scientist who coaches a lot of the junior teams here at Spring Hills.
Because she was spent a little bit at the start of this year injured as well.
Yeah, she did. Margot Clark, talking of scientists, she's an environmental scientist
There you go.
in America.
Liberto, of course, did spend last year at Calder and then Spring Hills Junior, of course, but hasn't really had to contribute much in a starting capacity, but does sit in that back line pretty comfortably.
What are they going to do with those nice club rooms at Calder, Ross?
Oh, I think Avondale's juniors play out of there, potentially. I do know that they absorbed all their...
I went there a couple of times and I thought these are nearly the best club rooms. Mind you, they're pretty good here at Spring Hills, but of course they're two-tier.
Yes,
and
of course.
Thought they're as good as some of the... I call a lot of local football, local AFL, and I thought they're as good, if not better, than some of those facilities.
Of course, they had that affiliation with Western United, and then Calder United have also been absorbed by Avondale. They've managed to send the ball through, and of course retains a majority of their facilities, as well as the history has been absorbed by Avondale, and you'd see it in Avondale's squad today. They've got a lot of Calder United juniors that walk around the squad, a bunch of 18, 17-year-olds that come through that Calder system, and it's a shame to see such a prolific club.
They dominated the
They did. They won the treble.
Yeah, Zimmerman was a star goal kicker.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Star goal scorer, I should say.
There's Spring Hill, Bulleen send the corner in. over the top of Markovsky and into the arms of Aoyagi. And she will go quickly. Sends the ball along to Daskalovska. Takes the ball down and cleared by Renahan to Kane. Here's Kane now driving. Who slots the ball through to player out wide and just taken down. Looks like it's Ash Gordon, that one, who just didn't quite get her feet to it.
It's a handy play to come off the bench as well. She scored one of the goals in their win over Bayside Argonauts. They've got talent everywhere, haven't they? It's not just talent, it's depth.
Of course, that Bayside team haven't been doing the great in VPL, but a 2-0 loss to Bulleen Lions isn't the worst result in the world. Of course, they've also recruited quite well in the off-season. Coco Maastricht and Rebecca Stott joining Bayside Argonauts. Rebecca Stott will join the squad after international duty with New Zealand, of course, alongside Maggie Jenkins, who scored 4 last week for Essendon Royals. And here's Markovsky now, who finds Brightus and goes backwards to Majcik and over to Delosta and Majcik again to Brightus, who will send a long ball over the top to find the winger, but not quite. Bit of a physical battle in the middle there as it's slidden in by the Spring Hills defender and pushed over to Brightus once again. I think she's been great since she's come on, really controlling that midfield for the Bulleen Lions. Here she is again. It's Kane rather. Through the way through to Gordon. It's free kick for Spring Hills.
Was it handball?
I think it potentially was. Looks like it from the goalkeeper. Off the goalkeeper,
You're
rather.
a great aficionado of the sport. How do you feel about that when the ball accidentally hits the hands and a player might be attacking an opponent and they kick it into them and it just gets their hands and they're not trying to stop it with their hands deliberately, if you know what I mean?
I think if it's that close and it's like within meters of, like, it's a bit difficult to avoid moving your hand at the last minute, but I guess you gain an advantage from it, then it's fair game, but seems like it's just taking time to get going, Nayan Aoyagi, but here's Dakic, goes back to Aoyagi.
Time running out, 86th minute, Roscoe.
It is not long to go in this game. Of course, as things stand, it's Bulleen Lions who progress to the final 16, and here's Jordan again. Again on the outside, tries to find Brightus. Dakic driving, pushes it down the line, cleared again, and back out for another throw. And a change for Spring Hills once again.
Yeah, just hold the ball.
And Mayer's still on.
And it's Spring Hills change. Maya Markovsky remains on the pitch, 86 minutes, so maybe she'll miss that weekend's game against Keilor Park. Of course, not having the greatest season then, but maybe they don't need her.
They will stay up, though.
They will. Unfortunately, there's 2 teams worse than them, unfortunately. Well, not worse, but Bentley Green's in a bit of a dire state at a football club right now, but have also recruited quite well. Of course, Melissa Barbieri joins them.
How old's Melissa?
45.
Yeah, amazing.
Did win, of course, the A-League Championship and Premiership double alongside Ayano Yagi in the Goalkeepers Union over there.
Done some commentary with Melissa when she was, we're talking 10, 12 years ago when she was, I thought, the back end of her career then. But she's a great survivor, isn't she?
Of course, she loves football.
She does.
I think that's the main thing. Of course, started her career before I was even born.
Very good commentator.
Very good commentator as well, of course.
Excellent.
Yeah, started her career before I was born, to just going on to her 25th season of football.
Well, I was well born. Roscoe, I was 32 then.
Well, there you go. It's going to be a free kick again. And we'll get confirmation of who that change was. I think it was Isabella Arredondo, but
they haven't got too many others to choose from. Ibrahim, of course, who's the goalkeeper, having a rest tonight. They've given Aoji a chance. I think she's done a pretty good
She
job.
has done a pretty good job. I think
she
they're
has.
very lucky to not be 3 or 4 down, considering some of the saves she's made, and of course she was very unlucky with that goal that they did concede as well.
Having said that, I thought Ibrahim was outstanding against Bulleen a few weeks ago. They were on target a lot, and she made some magnificent saves. Again, a through ball by Mahochik, who got injured, but has stayed on. They push it back, though, from Godden. Now here's Darkic racing down the right-hand side in the 89th minute, but she couldn't quite keep it alive. It was tantalisingly close to the line, and then it went over the line just before she was ready to put her boot into it. Jordan and Dakic, good contest. They were virtually together, separated by a piece of very, very thin string, for want of a better expression, Ross. Here is Bunnell again. Still chewing the gum. Probably tasteless by now down that left-hand side. And it goes over the sideline. I was about to go and get that, and of course I can't because I've got the microphone connected. How well am I travelling?
There's Bunnell now, who'll send it down the line and tries to find Jordan, but goes all the way back to Eliadis' head. Back to Markovsky, who has got some space to work with. Chips it over the top of the defender, but again, he's got it. There's Bunnell to the feet of Sinclair. Headed on by Sinclair, and great footwork, who manages to get Ava Breedis in front of her, intercepting his Jordan to Markovsky and his Breedis. Here's Breedis, who will have Nao in front of it. And just brought out to throw in again, and a bit of time-wasting tactics. Of course, we don't know the fourth official today either. We don't know how long's left, but...
Well, I'm just trying to work out who's gone off. Kawasaki certainly went off. They thought she might have suffered a hamstring injury last week, so they're just looking after her. Lavno never goes off. That's got to be handball against Matthews. Again, that's an example of what I was talking about before, Ross, where it was accidental. I just think it should be play on. I understand the rules are in place.
Yeah, I do think it was Isabella Arredondo that came on the pitch, rather, and
yes,
it looks like this one might be in Ava Breidis.
Well, we're in the 91st minute, so we're into the injury time that's been obviously allocated of the stops that occurred. And there was one for a few minutes with Mahajcik getting some treatment. So Iliadis, a very open goal mouth. She's got to try and get it over them. She lobs it, takes the pace of it. Markovsky's there, kicking into bodies as Jordan. She gets another opportunity, trying to shoot, and it goes too high. Couldn't get enough on it. Too much on it, and it misses. That was one of their young players in Angel who just got too much on that. And it's still 1-0. Renahan gets a little boot, which is cleared momentarily by Spring Hills. It's kept alive by Bulleen. Again, the header at the back by Renahan was creative. She's a very, very good defender, Catherine Renahan. Into bodies and over the sideline. There's been a lot of that tonight where players have just in that last third found the opposition too hard to penetrate or get through. And it has ricocheted into feet or boots or bodies.
And it's 93rd minute now here at Springside Recreation Reserve, and it doesn't seem like there might be long left, and looks like Spring Hills might be bowing out of this Nike FC Cup in this
just
fifth
typifies
round.
their season. They've been almost.
They're
going to stay up. They've been almost in a lot of games.
They've been almost last season as well. They just missed out on finals last year as well.
I mean, you look at what they did last year. They hardly got beaten by more than 2 goals. Yeah. They didn't win by more than 2 goals either. So their goal difference was all right.
Quite a successful home record as well for them last season.
After a slow start.
Yeah, so they should stay up, and they should, of course, remain in the league for one more year. Their third year in this league.
They had 4 draws in their first 9 matches last year, and then they got going a bit in the second half of the year.
And that's, of course, with Maja Markovski, who isn't on their side right now. Of course, you're losing 18 goals to your name, but that's golden.
They haven't replaced that, of course. That's been their issue, just not being able to score. But their defence has saved them many times, especially Labnote, who's involved in this exchange here between the sideline and the byline in the closing stages. Remembering, of course, that Markovski scored in the 96th minute in that high-scoring game against Avondale on the weekend to ensure that her team got a point and stay on the same number of points as the Royals. That's it. The last throw of the night, and it's a win to Bulleen. They had to battle for it, and they've won 1-0, remembering that Spring Hills had a shot very early on, and it hit the right-hand goal post, and then Bulleen eventually scored a goal after a great save initially by Auji. It just bobbled around inside the 10-yard box. They couldn't clear it, Spring Hills, and it was tapped in on the right-hand side by
Nikki Furukawa,
of course, and they hung on despite another opportunity in the second half by the Bulleen team. They couldn't quite find that second goal, but in the end, 1-0's more than enough. It takes them into the quarterfinals of the Nike Cup, and Spring Hills, well, they can hold their head high as a pretty competitive performance.
Yeah, well, Bulleen's attention now turns to Saturday as they take on Keilor Park away from home in the NPL Victoria women's competition. Of course, booking their place in the next round of the Nike FC Cup, and they'll look to go the whole way as well. Very ambitious football club. And Spring Hills, of course, focus turns to the league, where they will look to push as high up as the league as they can.
They made a lot more subs, didn't they, than
they did.
Bulleen. They kept most of their star players on. Renahan, Kane, even when she got a little bit injured in the second half, Majacek, who's so good down back. And Markovski was the one I thought would have gone off. We know she's carrying that injury. Has all year. Bridus was a very handy player to come on, considering her W League experience. But it was just interesting tactics by Katie Friend, but it's worked. They've won 1-0. It wasn't pretty, but at the end of the day, a win's a win.
Of course, I've been Ross Papadakis. I've been joined by Dan Lonergan today on this Tuesday night. The Nike FC Cup. We'll be back with some more Nike Cup, Doherty Cup, and Chanel NPL Victoria action later in the week. Thanks for joining us. See ya.
Stay warm. Are you all right with everything, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay, very good. Thanks for all your work.
Sorry about the issues.
We went off a few times, didn't we?
Yeah.
But the sound didn't, did it? You just keep going at the sound.
Kept going.
Yeah, you do.
So I've got the recording and they will upload it to the clients there.
Did you want to take that mic?
No worries.
Thank you.
That's what it's all about. I've worked in radio a long time. You just keep going.
It's a bit hard with no power, that's why.
No.
Yeah.
You have my screen off?
Yes.